The website is so outward facing that everybody has an opinion on it.
I just want to eliminate sales altogether. Just do what most B2B companies dream of, which is product-led growth.
And now the backend developers are in charge of this website.
Everybody was like, woohoo, new website is live. And then it would just sit there, collecting dust over 3 to 5 years.
You've been staring at that blue and those elements for the last 5 years, but that's not the problem.
That's not the problem. And so what is the problem? That's the million-dollar question. Welcome back, everybody, to the All the Hats podcast. My name is Omar, and with me is...
My name's Alicia. Nice to see you guys again. And with us is our producer, Dino.
What's up, everybody? I just had 4 cups of coffee.
I have 1 cup of coffee, and it's and I just cherish the hell out of it.
One a day?
One a day. It's my first cup. And the reason why is because other cups of coffee after that just don't hit the same.
Yeah.
You know
You're
what
saying
I mean?
The first hit is the best?
The first hit is the best.
Oh, yeah.
And I just savor it to death.
I actually read an article the other day that marketing people drink almost the most coffee of all the teams. And if you drink too much coffee, your body can go into something called fight or flight.
Fight or flight, yeah.
And I think I've experienced that. It's like tremors, you're like, what's going on?
That's what we need as marketers, wearing all the hats.
Yeah.
We're basically in fight mode.
Yeah, we're in fight mode and we're just caffeinated all day.
Yeah. So today we're talking about the thing that everyone thinks that they need, but probably don't. The massive website refresh.
Yeah. I mean, for B2B, if you ask me, I have a really strong opinion on this, is that I think the website has gotten forgotten a little bit, for B2B companies, especially for B2B companies that want to grow all over the world. The website is the #1 sales channel.
Yeah.
Did you know that about 80%, research shows that about 80% of B2B buyers prefer to place orders through a website? And did you know that 85% of B2B sales cycles start with an online search?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, just in your own daily life,
Yeah.
You're looking for a tool or a way to perform this.
People just want, in B2B, like B2B buyers, they want to do the research. They will hit several touch points. They will check out your social media maybe.
Yeah.
They might check out like rating sites like G2 or Capterra and stuff like that. They might even have met you at a conference, but they will always go to your website at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I believe that. And it's just in our own buying behavior, we are always visiting the website and trying to understand. And that's why we were talking about messaging and why it's so important.
Yeah. The website is kind of the place where it all comes together. It's like messaging, positioning, content, SEO, campaigns, UX, brand, what you stand for,
So
product. It all comes together on the website.
So you are a B2B company, and this is the age-old scenario that I see. You get a new CEO, and the new CEO says, we need a brand refresh.
Oh, yeah. And as part of that journey, we need a new website.
Yep. And that means it's such a pet peeve of mine because it's not the color that is not making sales. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On the website. It's not the fact that I know you're tired of that blue. You've been staring at that blue for the last 5 years and those elements for the last 5 years, but that's not the problem.
That's not the problem. And so what is the problem? That's the million-dollar question, and it's just not going to be one thing. It's going to be a lot of different things that come together on your website. So what my pet peeve is that what most companies will do is they'll go at some point, I need a website. And they will either build it internally or they will hire an agency, a web agency or something to build it for them.
Mm-hmm.
And how does that process often look? It goes, what do we like? What do we like?
Yeah.
The people, employees or the agency, what do they like? Or what do the competitors look like? And then that's the foundation for the design and the UX and all of it on the website. So it's rarely kind of built backed by data, if you ask me.
Yeah. And I find that we have seen a lot of our clients who have a great product. And because they had a great product, they're like, we need a website. And they ask their product developers or backend developers to build a website for them.
Yeah.
And now the backend developers are in charge of this website, which was, kind of cobbled together through product designers and, just
Kind of Frankenstein.
So it's not in a good place. And I understand that when a CEO comes in, he's like, we need a new website. We need a brand refresh. We need a complete overhaul. And I understand why that is the request, but at the end of the day, like, even if you were to change your colors, it's not, in my opinion, it's not what's stopping people from converting.
We've just seen that with our old employer. Once we left, they didn't do anything for a couple of years in marketing, and then all of a sudden, brand refresh and new website, and I don't like it.
It's not that I like it. I mean, of course, I'm a little bit partial to what we were working on back then, but I just think that resources could have gone to something else. You know? And also another thing that is a lot of the time not taken into account is the SEO juice that you have built up on your website. Because a lot of the times with a brand refresh and a complete website overhaul, you're like taking away a lot of pages that have probably been driving a lot of traffic to you from an SEO standpoint, because they've been there for a long time. You just never really knew how well they were performing.
I think if you take a step back and think about it, it's like what I believe is the only way to optimize a website is continuous optimization backed by data. So launch a website, that's fine. But then start looking at the metrics and the numbers and trying to understand what people like about it, or your target audience likes about it, your ICP, and what they don't like about it. How are they engaging with the website? And it's tough. I understand that. It's tough with the current tools out there to know what's going on your website. But that's the only way to do it, because what you don't want to do is make updates or improvements to your website based on opinion only. This episode was brought to you by Optimize. If you're a B2B marketing team juggling 5 tasks at once, you need Optimize to help you optimize your website for leads and revenue. Go to optimize.com to check out how we're simplifying marketing. And now back to the show.
Okay, then here's a question. So we had that scenario. You've got a product, you're a backend developer, and product developers whipped up a website for you. It's on like, I don't know, sometimes it's just built from scratch. Sometimes it's like, ideally it's on some sort of headless CMS system that they're using, like Prismic or Framer, or maybe it's a WordPress site, maybe it's a Squarespace
God forbid.
site. But like, it's clunky, it's old, and we just did a brand, or we want to not do, let's say we're not going to do a whole website refresh. Let's say we start doing it bit by bit.
Yeah.
Can you do that on a legacy system that you have kind of like inherited, where the backend developers are still in charge of life?
I don't think so. Marketing should own the website, and they need to be able to either have access to resources that can help them optimize it without waiting 3 weeks to get their time, because they're busy internal resources. They need to be able to make these updates. So but first they need to understand what updates or improvements to make. So
I think like there is a differentiation between like a whole brand refresh and a website redesign, and website refresh, let's say, for example. So a lot of the times people are like, what we have found is you go through a brand refresh, and then that leads to a website redesign just because you're bored of your colors.
Yeah.
And you also think that, it's the colors that's preventing you from making conversions, or it's like it's old and we want a new one.
Yeah.
But actually that's not what's stopping you from making conversions. And maybe there is something deeper within your website that needs to be fixed. Maybe it's like we talked about, an old legacy system, and we need to have the conversation about updating that and putting it into the hands of marketing instead of the back-end developer.
Yeah.
But like that should be the driver and not your color scheme and the elements that you're using on your website.
Couldn't agree more. And I mean, I used to see this all the time back in the agency days when I was working with different companies, is like they would spend, quite amount of money to build a new website. And everybody was like, had a party and woohoo, new website is live. And then it would just sit there, collecting dust over 3 to 5 years, and then nobody would touch on it. And then it's like either they do a rebrand and then a new website as a part of that, or they just got bored with it. And they were like, everybody's bored of our website, let's just do a new one.
Yeah.
But it's the time in between that's so key here. You need to kind of be continuously learning what's working on the website, looking at how people are engaging with the website, what's working, what's not, and then making these tweaks.
So to your point, I think that the point that I want to emphasize is the fact that like the motivation for you to make updates to your website should be consistent, and it should be the analytics and how your website is performing, not the elements and not just a feeling that you're having.
Yeah.
And oftentimes the website is so outward facing that everybody has an opinion on it.
Yeah.
And they'll say like, I think we should change this. I think we should change that.
Yeah.
And I think we should have these pages and these pages and
Yeah.
those pages. And it's always just on a feeling based off of like what is happening in their world with the product at the moment.
I think that's exactly right, Alicia. That's what happens, I think, with most companies, because analytics, just looking at the numbers behind the website, it's tough. It's incredibly complicated, and the current tools are just clunky. So it's tough to know what's going on the website. So people will revert to opinion or emotion or feeling or what they think is going to be better. But to your point, don't use a rebrand or boredom as the reason to work on your website.
Yeah.
I would think of it as your number one salesperson, just like focus and try to make it as great as possible all the time. Just like improve it every day or every week, and then use the data as much as you can. Hire somebody to help you, or get really good at it, or find a good tool for it, and use that as use that data to back up why you're making changes to the website.
Yeah. And from personal, I understand how tricky it is to start figuring out what to do with your website.
That is incredibly tough.
It is really hard to do.
It's one of the hats I would say is the most complicated for a marketing person, because it's so analytical.
Yeah. And also there's just so many things that you could do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, where am I starting? What should I do first? Am I changing the copy? Am I changing the images? Am I changing the background? What needs to be changed? Does any of these things need to be changed? Does it matter? I think that's probably one of the hardest things.
I mean, it could be, like we said before, it could be messaging. Is the copy good? I mean, that's a big question. But if the messaging is off, the website is going to be a place to tell you that. You can kind of test it on your website. So that's one thing. Technical part of the website, like is it loading fast enough? Mm-hmm. That's just something that you fix immediately. Then you got for SEO, is it optimized for SEO? Are you being found on search engines? Mm-hmm. That means you need to have a lot of content. You need to have alt text, meta text, meta descriptions. All of that needs to be in place on your website. The UX on your website is the user experience easy to understand? Or does it have friction in it? For instance, one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of companies do is having a really long front page, the first page you see, really long. People don't scroll as much as you think they do.
No.
The drop off is quite very fast. 25% of people don't just drop off in the hero section. Mm-hmm, There's a lot of things that come together on a website. So it is tough, but at the same time, it's imperative that the website is working as well as it can, because otherwise you're missing out on millions potentially in leads and revenue.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. And it is your face.
It's the face of the operation.
It's the face of the operation. It's the face of the product. And it should be indicative and represent who you are. And I mean, we are kind of going back to talking about why it's important to like maintain your website. But at the same time, like going back to like what's the most important thing, it's looking at what's working and what's not, and stop blaming the website colors and your logo and your brand for the low conversions.
Yeah,
because it's not that's not what's doing it. It could be a website problem. It could be that your website is too slow.
Yeah.
But it's not the color of, well, maybe if it's like black and your text is black.
I don't know how many times I saw some of our clients on the agency side build the website, spend a lot of money on it, and then just wait 3 years, and then just no tweaks in between, and then just launch a completely new website after that. What I think I usually find I kind of have the most sympathy for is what you were talking about before, is you're kind of stuck in this legacy CMS website environment, and your hands are tied. You're like, as a marketeer, you're not a coder, you don't know how to change the structure of a website. So you need to have the website needs to be built in a way that you have the control and power to make those changes yourself.
And there are ways to do that now that's not so complicated.
Yes.
Like, even though we would rather have something a little bit that gives us a bit more flexibility, like Framer, you're going to need an agency for that. So like Squarespace, you can do it yourself.
You can do it with Framer, I would say. It's more that you need an agency to help with these Prismics and the contentful CMS systems that are very popular in B2B.
Yeah.
Most of the websites were built on them.
Can you do it by yourself on Framer?
If it's set up in the right way. So if you're hiring somebody to build your website, they need to set up the CMS in a certain way so you have that control going forward as much as possible.
So at the end of the day, what we're saying is you're going to need some help on this.
Yes.
It's going to be impossible to do on your own as a marketer wearing the hat.
You can get really far if it's developed and created in a certain way. But
so we're going to need help setting you up for success.
Yeah.
And then you can take over.
Yes.
And the best way to set yourself up for success as a small marketing team is to get an easy to modify website CMS system. You like Framer. I found it a little bit complicated, but maybe the one that I was using wasn't set up for me.
It's a really nice tool because CMS tool, because it's I think the word is Wiswiga or something like that. What you see is what you get, so you can make changes in real time to it, and it just updates. So
Yeah, okay.
Wiswiga or something like.
I remember when we were doing Prismic, and I would have to there was no preview button, and that was the bane of my existence.
Yeah, but it's these little things that just kind of demotivate marketing teams to try to take control of the website. But at the end of the day, they are responsible for the website because they're being measured on leads usually. So where the leads come from? Typically 90% of leads in B2B come from the website. Mm-hmm. So you better have a kick-ass website that is optimized for your target audience, and you need to have the control to learn what's going well, what's not going well, and make the improvements and changes that you need to.
We also want to try to start shifting the conversation away from leads being your KPI.
What should it be then? Shouldn't be revenue, because maybe that's out of your control.
No, I think revenue is part of your control. I think it has to be like, it's not, we should start shifting away from just marketing KPIs to like company KPIs.
But let's put up this scenario, which I had all the time. If I'm going to be measured on revenue, I don't have full control of who closes the deals. All I can do is bring in as many, if you have a sales team, that is.
Yeah.
If you have a marketing team and a sales team where the handoff of lead is from marketing to sales, that's very typical.
Yeah.
As MQL, SQL bridge, sometimes called. once it's in sales' hands, it's out of my control. So if they are a terrible salesperson and they're not turning that lead into revenue, it's not my fault.
Yeah, but sales might say it's not my fault. It's a terrible lead.
Yeah, and that's the riff that usually happens, and that's why sales and marketing usually have a little bit of, they're butting heads.
And that's why I'm saying we're not fighting each other. We're fighting the same problem.
And that's why sales and marketing should actually be a very unified team,
exactly.
if you ask me.
Yeah. So, and I think that's why like revenue should be part of marketing's, because like whatever we bring in, it could just be someone who's interested but not ready to buy, and that doesn't mean that they're a bad lead, and it doesn't mean that sales isn't doing their job. It just is.
But sometimes it means that, because I've seen it firsthand many times that sales did a crappy job. They sent an email 3 days after the lead came in with a terrible email. And if you see that in the CRM time and time again, you're going to get pissed off because you're spending a lot of effort in creating all those leads through campaigns and website and stuff.
I know. And it's but like, this is where, again, we're trying to like bridge this gap. And what can marketing do to help alleviate some of that pressure? And with automations, we did this. We tried to set up sequences that would respond to people in time to try to keep them interested and nurtured. But like, it is one of those things where like, yeah, we're getting a little off topic, but I feel like just because they clicked book a demo doesn't necessarily mean they're ready to purchase.
Sure.
And just because they had a conversation doesn't mean that it was a bad, and they didn't want to buy. It doesn't mean that it's a bad lead.
Absolutely.
So I want to, instead of saying like, how many leads did you get? Like I strongly believe that we are all focused on revenue.
And I believe that marketing is great and sales can sometimes be crappy. I'm just kidding. That's why I just want to eliminate sales altogether and just do what most B2B companies dream of, which is product-led growth, PLG. And that means a person will come to your website, understand completely what you do, get excited by it, trust you, and just be willing to purchase without talking to somebody. That's product-led growth, and that's the dream scenario for a B2B company. It's incredibly tough to achieve, and all of the elements need to come together, especially on the website.
Yeah.
I went ahead and snagged a few websites from a Reddit thread that I found where it was asking like best/worst websites. So I want to do a little segment for you guys that you go through and you give your hot take on, called Heroes or Headaches. I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 websites of different B2B companies. I want you to go ahead and just go down the line here. Just give us your take. Take a good look at it. Any thought you have of how they could improve or what they're doing really well.
Barnum Financial Group.
You know what I really like about it is just you've got a nice, friendly, smiling guy looking at you, and they're giving you their guarantee. I don't know what they do yet. Deliver advice and solutions that help you achieve the future you want. Are they what I would love to see here is like, we are financial advisory.
It's missing what it is. We deliver advice and solution. Is it a tool or is it a consultancy? So it's missing a category. So the messaging is off for me. I really find the top navigation incredibly busy. I get an old school vibe from it. I feel like poor Paul Blanco, CEO founder, looks like a mafioso.
The Barnum Promise.
It does feel, yeah.
The Barnum Promise.
I do like the personal touch right away, and it gives you a little bit of trust from the beginning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay. But what I find difficult is I don't exactly know what they are. Are they a consultancy? Are they a tool?
It's got depth. I'll give him that. I mean, obviously, we need to always consider we're not their target audience, so we need to think about what their target audience, financial group. So maybe it's investors or bankers or something like that, or insurance people. But it's got depth. It's got a lot of sub pages, so it's probably should have pretty good SEO if they have a strategy. They got CTAs. They got featured in, which is good social proof. They got some success metrics. They got client testimonials. So I sometimes look at website as and kind of Lego. What do you call them?
Lego blocks.
Blocks, and each section has its own purpose. You got your value prop section, social proof section, problem statement section, resource section, call to action section. All of those sections on a website, and I mean, it's not a terrible website. It's just incredibly busy, if you ask me.
All right, let's go to the next one.
You know what? B2B does not have to be boring, you guys.
I mean, Staples it's like home supplies, or
It's like business supplies, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, got some success metrics there.
And yeah, exactly what you're gonna like, the value that you would basically get if you do it.
Wow, this next section, all your business needs all in one place.
The pictures are too much.
It's just crazy.
It's too crazy.
This is incredibly busy, a busy site. I mean, this is just,
But at least I would know where I'm going. That, you know what I mean? Even though like visually I don't love, but it's like, okay, I'm a shipping company. I need shipping supplies, or I'm a commerce company. I need
and the
supplies.
navigation is a little bit better than Barnum Financial.
And they've got some.
It got a lot of depth to it too. A
Yeah.
lot of sub pages, which is probably good for SEO. Do you know actually what the hottest topic in the SEO world right now is?
Tell me.
It's not SEO, it's AEO. Answer engine optimization.
Yeah.
So it's like you need to not only optimize for your website for search engines, but for the ChatGPTs, the DeepSeeks.
Yeah.
So they have a slightly different way of looking for websites.
Well, because this is definitely optimized for SEO with the FAQs at the bottom.
AEO also loves
FAQs.
FAQs, yeah.
Okay, good to know. Little pro tip out there for all you website people. Okay.
Say hello to our experts with a big E. Then you got some friendly faces here. So all in all, I mean, it's a short page. It's with the biggest footer I've ever seen. But what is all this disclaimer stuff here at the bottom? Do you need this?
What I think so, because it's like about like shipping stuff.
Just put it on another page. Jesus.
Okay, next one. Recruit CRM. 5 days and 20 hours and 30 minutes to our next webinar. Turn your content into cash with this expert playbook.
AI-powered, top-rated ATS. Nobody knows what that is. Or maybe the target audience does.
Real quick, I will say that their cookie bar is good.
Okay.
Because it's huge.
Are you sensitive to cookie bars being in the same brand as the website?
No.
Me neither.
But you do have to make sure that it's large enough for them to make an action on.
True.
And this one I have to make an action on.
Yeah.
And ideally, you want to highly encourage them to put an action on allow all.
Wow, look at the knowledge hub. It's like a lot of stuff. So it does create what I like this design better than the other ones. The other ones are a little bit old school for me. And this is cleaner. The structure's good. I feel I can live with this website. I think Recruit CRM is doing okay.
And
it's just the messaging I feel is a little bit off.
I appreciate their pared down screenshots. I'm sure this is not necessarily what it looks like. It's still a little bit busy for me, but oftentimes B2B companies have very technical products, and the screenshots that they include are like an actual screenshot of the product. It doesn't need to be like that. I just need, remember that you just need broad strokes.
Yeah, you can't read these screenshots. That's I think a mistake.
So AI-powered, top-rated ATS plus CRM for recruitment agencies worldwide. Love the recruitment agencies, but I just want to we're
It's a
obviously
mouthful.
we're not the target audience, but does everybody out there know what ATS Plus means?
I've never seen that word before, and this is a CRM, so I'm kind of the target audience here.
And then now I'm like allergic to AI powered,
I am too.
because what does this even mean?
That it's powered by AI.
Yeah, exactly. Like it didn't.
This episode was brought to you by Optimize. If you're a B2B marketing team juggling 5 tasks at once, you need Optimize to help you optimize your website for leads and revenue. Go to optimize.com to check out how we're simplifying marketing. And now back to the show.
India Mart? What the hell is India Mart? What is this? What am I looking at? Basmati rice?
Jesus
What
Christ.
is this?
A lot of stuff. So
It's big because there's volume behind this need, I think. It's not big because it's a technical solution for a niche group of people. You know what I mean? Like,
I hate it. With a passion. But turns out some people like it, and
I don't think they like it. I think they just have to use it.
maybe, yeah. But it's the stuff that nightmares are made of.
It looks like a catalog.
And then you got this Sapka. Is this an ad, or do you have that guy with the cigarette in his mouth there?
No, he left, but I had him. Oh, Sabka Sapna. Money.
Yeah. Do you have that?
Yeah.
Click to watch. Oh, there's a carousel there.
Yeah,
This is the busiest, craziest website I've seen in a long time, and I don't like it. But there's something about it is working, but maybe it's just because there's no better alternative. But maybe it's got something going that we don't understand, like just really good SEO.
Also, are these display ads? Track all your inquiries and leads with performance reports
And why do they have basmati rice
next to Flex printing machine?
or surgical gloves? It's like, are you looking for surgical gloves? No. Basmati rice?
Epoxy resins?
Decorative wall panel?
It scares me that these are the most, like, obviously, like, these must be the most highly clicked items. And, like, people are just going on here buying generic medicines. That scares the crap out of me.
And even if you go and click on a product, it's like contact seller by adding a few details of your requirement. I hate this website. I'm never going to it back again.
Tell me how you really feel, Omar.
Okay, let's do Stripe. Everybody's favorite payment infrastructure, I think.
They're going with the gradients.
I've seen this website a bunch of times before. It's actually considered one of the best websites out there.
The movement behind the color is really nice.
Yeah. It's
financial infrastructure to grow your revenue.
I wonder if, because it's quite structured and it's probably thought out a lot, and the design. I remember this this gradient floating behind in the hero. It's kind of. I think it was kind of considered quite cutting edge at the time. They're still using it, but good screenshots, clear tagline. I'm just thinking, like, do they need all that content? It's quite content heavy on the front page.
It seems like they are trying to show the performance analytics, and they're not just a payments thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's the message with that screenshot. But I really love the second section, accept and optimize payments globally. And they're actually showing the different currencies and different ways and places that how people are paying across the world.
I think, this is, to me, is the best site we've looked at, and it is it's a killer website. I just feel like after kind of gone on the simplicity train, I feel like it's a little bit too complex. And if I wanted to kind of quickly understand, if I didn't know what Stripe was and I wanted to quickly understand what they do, I'm not sure I would get it.
Yeah.
So, but overall, I think it's a pretty robust, solid site. But and they're trying to, like, cater to everybody. If you go to solutions, it's like enterprise, startups, So yeah, it's a big ass website, very deep. So it's probably really good on SEO as well. But I think for me, it's a little bit complicated.
I think, but if you were to come on here, you would know where to go. The solutions tab is really good. Like by business
Yeah.
model, what are you? An e-commerce? Are you a SaaS company? Are you retail? Like, how I think people will be able to find themselves quite easily and navigate their way around here.
That's true. That is true. I guess maybe they just have a very complicated and broad
There's a lot, yeah.
product portfolio, and they're catered to a lot of people. It's a big company, so
And the thing is that, like, our audience out there, our small to medium, marketing teams for these B2B SaaS companies, we're not going to have the budget to create a website like this.
How much do you think they pay for this website?
it depends because anybody can build a website, but like, what is the content that you're
Yeah.
putting on there, and all the writing, and making sure that it's all consistent with your strategy and what you are as a company. So, but I would think this website probably costs like $100,000 or something like that. The depth and the strategy of the UX, I feel like it's a little bit Frankenstein, to tell you the truth, but like they've started out with something and built on top of it. But like there's so many sub pages that are there, and we can even check out.
And the homepage itself, like the design of it, where you're moving from module to module kind of a thing, or value to value to value. And then the like animation that supports that value, just in terms of the design, the thought that's gone into it, it's going to be,
Yeah, I would say 150K probably for this site.
But I would also say that, like, you as beautifully animated as this is, as long as the information is there, like if this animation, let's say, was a 3 to 4 image carousel for like accept optimized payments globally, that would definitely fill this need without all this specific design. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like there are ways to achieve this website without the huge price tag. And you just have to continue to ask yourself, like, are we speaking to our customer? Are we showing the value that they will receive from this in a way that is meaningful to them?
Yeah. I guess Stripe is in a luxury position that they already have brand awareness, and a lot of people know them before they come to the website.
Yep.
But here's a good tip for people out there: is like you can download a Chrome extension called Wappalyzer. That's Wappalyzer, Wappalyzer, or go to something called builtwith.com, and then you can see all the tech behind the website for free. And I can just see here that they have a lot of stuff going on their website, the Stripe, but it's built on, it's using Contentful as their CMS, which we talked about earlier. And they have a bunch of different languages and lots of pixels to track. They're using ZoomInfo for sales and marketing, Google Optimize 360 for A/B testing, Google Analytics. They're using Salesforce as a CRM. So it's a very helpful tool to use to see kind of what tech companies are using, actually, not only for their website, but also for their sales and marketing.
Yeah,
so you can
love
kind
it.
of sneak up on your competitors like that.
Really good tip.
Yeah.
With all this in mind, right? Sometimes a full website refresh or redesign isn't the move. What is the move instead? What should marketers be doing instead?
Yeah, that's $1 million question. But what I would say is look at your website as your number one sales channel, and that it is incredibly important that it's in its best state as often as possible. So that means not doing a redesign in every 3 years or 5 years. It means continuous improvements by looking at the data behind the website. I know it's tough. I know analytics can be tough, but you need to hire somebody or just learn it yourself or just get your team to help with it. Whatever you need to do, try to learn Google Analytics, throw it up in a Looker Studio. Obviously, I'm biased. We're building something much better with Optimize, where we just tell you what's going on through insights, but I'm not allowed to sell on this podcast, am I? So what I can do is just tell you that try to look at the numbers. Don't make improvements based on opinion on what somebody sitting on in another team tells you that they like or don't like. Use the data. Try to get to know your website as much as possible and prioritize it as part of your sales.
And look at your messaging and positioning.
That's part of it. Yeah, that's just one part of the website. Yeah, it's just all comes together on your website. If I was starting a role today in a B2B team and I inherited a website, the first thing I would do is go, I need an X budget to just take control of this website, and so I can really work with it.
Love it. So if this has given you enough information to say no, or at least question the next time someone comes to you and asks you for a redesign, then send it to them and send it to your fellow small marketers out there. Thanks for listening.
And if you like what you're hearing, hit subscribe, hit like, tell everybody you know. On the next episode, we're going to be talking about how small and mighty B2B marketing teams can actually do customer research, because that tends to be a big bottleneck for a lot of teams. Until then, have a good one.
Bye.